Hello everyone, this is Singy from the Sanctum of the Soul, and today I've got my new babies, I hope I'm saying this right, Santa Muerte Tarot and the Santa Muerte Oracle. So I didn't know that was the Oracle. I know it's been out for about a year or maybe more than a year, but this one has been out forever, and I tried getting the coffin shaped limited edition back in the day when it first came out. That wasn't successful, so it doesn't matter. I've been, because of that, I've been putting it off getting this deck. But when I saw this deck, I was like, might as well get the whole set. Since I like using tarot and oracle simultaneously, so I might as well. And so I haven't got much time today, so this is going to be more of an unboxing video. I will of course focus on the Oracle because that's 32 cards. Also, that's the one I'm more excited about, and this one's a bit more common. A lot of people have this deck because it's been out for so long. So they're both by Los Scarabeo. I hope I'm saying that right too. So I'm not, if you've been following my videos, you'll know that I'm not particularly impressed by the card quality of the Los Scarabeo company, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I have seen my friend's limited edition of this deck and the card stock is okay. Nothing to complain about, so let's see if that's the case with this deck. So of course it's the magic of death and the magic of life meet within this colorful and mystical oracle that follows the law of the Dias de los Muertos. Oh god. So it's like the god of death, I think. Yeah, okay. So as usual, we're going to have 6 languages, so I'm going to assume that the guidebook is going to be pathetic. It's going to be a thin-ass guidebook. But we'll see. I don't really know much about this deck. Apparently there's some gimmick with the card backs, so we'll see about that. And as usual, I'm floundering with the shrink wrap. Yay. Okay. So we've got the shrink wrap open. Oh goodness. Okay. So wasn't very impressed by the first impression of it. But without the shrink wrap, the color's actually gorgeous. It's such a rich blue, and the silver. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. I really hope it's good. Okay, so the box is one of those nice boxes that I like. Really sturdy, nice black interior, and oh my goodness, that is beautiful. So you can see the Mexican influence in the deck. So that's the deck, another shrink wrap, hooray! And that's the guidebook. And oh, okay, so I take it back. It's not as pathetic as the usual Los Scarabeo guidebook, but it is still really short. yeah, it is still really short. So it's got the meanings of the card and the advice of the dead. So I'm assuming that you can do a reversed reading with this. Um, or you could just interpret it according to context. Um, Ultimately, though, this is still really thin because this book is shared between 6 languages. So that is a bummer, especially because the cards have no keywords. So, having a deck with no keywords, you would kind of expect a better write-up, especially since it's the second iteration, or rather, it's a continuation of, a well-established deck. But I guess, can't expect a company to just change its roots. Alright, I really hope I'll be able to open. Look at the card back, it's so strange. Okay. Oh god. Okay, so right off the bat, there is some damage on the cards, and that is not due to shipping because the box is perfect. So you can see the damage on the cards already, which is a bummer. This is obviously a production problem. The rest of the cards look okay, but it seems like this is going to be a stubborn one that's not going to just come off. We'll see. Okay, I'm having a bit of technical difficulty. God, I hate shrink wrap. I hate it so much. Like, what's wrong with just wrapping it up with some, like, a band of paper or something? God. Okay. Great. So here we go. Got this open. So I'm going to be able to open that from here. Oh god. I feel like perhaps there is a proper way of opening these. Some kind of life hack. Should check it out. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank god. So, thankfully it seems it's this one card that has this issue here. The rest of the cards look okay. So there's one card here. This is quite bad. God. Yeah, that's not going to be able to be flattened. So that is a disappointment. Okay, let me set this aside. Okay, so here are the cards. Card stock is... it's okay. It's not the best. But it is good for those Scarabeo deck. Leaves much to be desired. It's a bit on the soft side, so you can see how bendy it is. And even though it's a bit thick, it's nowhere near that kind of sturdiness that I've come to expect of recent products like from Hay House or from Blue Angel or even Rockpool. So that is still a bit of a disappointment, and in fact I think Los Scarabeo has lived up to its name of not being of high quality. Like, I feel like even US Games does a better job than this, and considering that the prices, it's not like Los Scarabeo decks are particularly cheaper, so there is no excuse. Bit of a disappointment. Anyway, moving on. So we've got card number 1. It's very hard to read this deck. I am going to just tell you that. Oh my god! Oh my god, is it what I think it is? Hang on. Oh my goodness. It is what I think it is. It's a freaking Ouija board. So it's a Ouija board on the back, which is so cool. Okay. Excitement to myself. So these cards are really interesting. Oh my goodness. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a face. It's a skull. So I'm not going to be able to read this, I think, right just like that. Because these are really... oh my goodness. So you can kind of see a bit of Aztec influence, which isn't surprising considering this is the cover card on the box. And oh, a white card. Oh my goodness, these are so beautiful. Oh my god. How on earth do you read this? Is this a continued? Oh my god, it is. It is. Okay, so both the front and the back seem to have some hidden Easter eggs. Oh, this is so beautiful. These are also, oh my god, the feathered serpent. And that's skeleton getting fingered by skeletal digits. And vomiting rainbows. Oh my god, look at that. And what looks like the lesbian flag in the background, which would be really cool if that was intentional. Not that I'm trying to, apply the lens of the LGBT community to everything, but that would be cool. Oh, a tunnel made from skeletons. A skeleton and the medicine, the mask, I think, that used to be worn to ward off disease. Or it could be an Aztec god or goddess, I don't know. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I think that's Santa Muerte herself. Saint Death or Holy Death. Is she pregnant? Is that what this is? Oh, so this reminds me of the tarot. The actual tarot. Okay, does this continue? No, it doesn't. So I guess it's not all. Oh wait, it does. Oh my god. Okay, so this reminds me of the Prisma tarot. Is that what? Prisma Visions tarot? Yeah. Oh, this is so exciting. Alright. I am excited about that. So I'm not going to be able to read the deck very well. Especially with no guide, no words at all. So I think the first one are all faces. So I'm assuming they're in 8s or maybe 4. Yeah, definitely in 8s. So I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing, but so basically the first 8 are all masks. Right? So they're all just skulls and masks. So that's not a continuation. Okay. And let's look at the second one, which are these. And these look like they fit. They do. Okay. Okay, so these look like there could be continuation from the top. No, it isn't. The fourth card would be this one, and it doesn't. So I guess it's isolated in eights. There we go. So 8 cards, and that's what they look like when you line them up. This is very exciting. Definitely reminds me of the Prisma Visions, which every suit has a story. So this, oh man, this looks amazing. Okay, so let's move on to the third one. So there are 32 cards in the deck, so I'm assuming there will be 4 sets of these. And the third one, I don't think you can do anything with the third set of 8, so that's okay. So it seems like the first and third sets are all just skulls. And we've got this one. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Okay, they don't line up properly if you look at it. Yeah, you can see that they're not lined up very well. It looks like it should look something like that instead. Like that, perhaps. So this is not well made at all. Which is a disappointment since, you know, this is supposed to be a gimmick. And this is perfect. Well, not really. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. This one's perfect as well. You can see the skull up here. And yeah, so they're all perfect. Just for comparison's sake, I'm going to move this one down now that we know it's perfect. And we'll have this. Okay, that's okay. That is a bit weird here. Yeah, definitely a bit weird. So all these are, you can see that over here it's not well made at all. The continuity isn't there. Yeah, and over here as well you can see the double images. So this is a bit of a disappointment. I don't think that's supposed to look like that. Oh well. So again, I do love the idea of continued cards, but unlike the Prisma Visions, this is not well executed, which is a bit of a disappointment because honestly, it's such a great idea. So few decks do it. Oh well. So I'm going to try assembling the Ouija board. Of course, I don't have enough space for the entire thing, so I'm just going to do like a... Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful that is. Okay, so I am actually... Yeah, you get the idea. So I am very grateful that the back seems to line up properly. That would be such a bummer if it wasn't. And there's a skull at the side, you can see. And of course, there's the hand. Um, all the letters are becoming apparent. Yeah, so these all line up perfectly. It is quite a sizable Ouija board, and of course it's not going to be functional at all because short of taping the cards together or gluing them on a surface, I'm not sure how you're going to have what do you call that thing, like a planchette, planchet, whatever you call that thing. It's going to be a bit hard to read with it, so it is a bit of a gimmick. Not that I'm complaining about gimmicks, because honestly, I'm a sucker for gimmicks. I'm such a sucker for anything that's a bit weird. Right, so let's look at the second half of it. We've just got to make do, unfortunately. And so it seems like we've got another skull coming up, and we've got the Santa Muerte by Fabio Listrani. And oh, look at all the... Okay, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that fits. Yeah, these fit. Okay, so this set fit. And of course this is the one that has the issue, as you can see. So fingers crossed that this is going to work. So if it doesn't, I will be very, very sorely disappointed. And oh, thank God it worked. Thank God. Honestly, it was a bit of a hit and miss there. So could have gone both ways. But thank God it works. So as you can see, yeah, it looks pretty good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it does work, and of course the last two cards would fit together like that. And you can see the damage is still there. Okay. Now, just going to put all the cards back together. And I'm sorry that this is such a short, it's not even a walkthrough, but I am at a loss as well, regarding what the cards mean. So I am going to need a bit of time to study the cards, especially the ones with just the faces. I'm not really sure how to read them. But yeah. Okay, so let's shuffle them. They shuffle okay, I guess. They don't slip, they don't stick, so all's well. And you can see the damage here. It's very obvious, which is very disappointing. I hope the tarot doesn't have this issue, because I would be very, very disappointed. Okay, so let's do a reading. So this reading is going to be regarding a certain person. I'm not going to reveal it in case he's watching. But yeah, I'm just going to do the reading and do the interpretation, and I'll try to keep the details out of it. What should I do with this person? Okay, since this would be the clarifying card, let's check it out. And the first card is... Okay. I have a feeling that this set are all some kind of all the gods again. Oh wow, so I've got 3 of the gods. And the last one is... Oh, the cover card. Okay, so I'm going to have to consult the guidebook because I haven't got a clue what all these are. I think this one's kind of warrior, this one might be a jester or something. I've got no idea, and it's so interesting. You've got like mini Mexicans, like the sombreros. Okay, this is very interesting. Let's look at card 13. Oh, so this is the can't remember, Huitzilopochtli, I think. So I was just doing a small blessing with his energy. So he's the god of sun, and I was preparing some amaranth, which were used as offerings to him and of course the rest of the pantheon. So we've got proceed calmly along the path you have chosen, but without presumption towards the first goals you see in the light. Otherwise, the shadows you meet on your path will seem like darkened wells. Okay, so powerful and generous, but lethal if, like the little hummingbird that flies too near to it, we do not keep the right distance from it, or if we exceed in arrogance and presumptuousness. Okay, and we've got card number 10, which is I'll do that one later. Number 10, which is makes... I'm not even going to pretend I can read that. The king of the dead and the afterlife, ruler of the deepest part of the underworld. It forms the binary and complementary opposition of disaggregation of bodies and matter. We see him devouring a body for rupture and fading out are the starting point of any successive work of creation or regeneration. He is the alchemic solve to separate the analysis before synthesis, the phoenix that dies and turns to ashes before rebirth. So that's not really very useful. So I think the advice is what we want to look for. It is time to look at the situation from a more in-depth point of view, to analyze the circumstances before putting the pieces back together. So we've got card 11, which is the Queen of the Dead, responsible for memories. So she is the coagula, which is the coagulation to join together, while the other one is to solve, which is to separate. So it's like to dissolve. In fact, we see here near some recently remolded bodies. I see. The study and analysis you have done is sufficient, and time has come to put them to work, enacting your own synthesis. So that is kind of what I've been thinking as well. I have studied the situation enough, and I have ascertained that, or ascertained that that is what my initial impressions were correct. So let's look at card number 7, which is the clarification card, and it is the feminine. While the masculine card presented us with the primordial active and creative impulses, it has no formal direction. This card is complementary to it, a receptive and feminine basis, which, like a womb or cocoon, envelopes the primitive energy, disciplines it and stabilizes it by giving it a shape. This shape will consent its growth and evolution, but will inevitably give it mortality. So the advice is to take the necessary time to study and meditate before executing your project, perhaps ask a feminine or maternal figure for advice. So I know exactly who that would be, and yes, that does sound like a good plan. Um, and of course, it's always nice to see that in the deck there is a masculine and a feminine. I think the masculine has been sorely left out and neglected in the New Age spiritual community because of you know, social, I guess, social justice. We've got feminism. We've got you know, liberal. The media has become more liberal. We've got all these narratives that are being pushed, and so obviously the feminine has become more prominent, more powerful, in terms of, you know, visibility. So I think that through inclusiveness and through, you know, integration, that requires a balance between the feminine and the masculine. And as I have mentioned, I work almost exclusively with the Divine Mother, and even so, I I can see the problem with representation, and I think, you know, it's high time that we have more decks like this that address the issue by creating the representation and the balance that we so sorely need. So that is one good thing I have noticed about this deck. And another, so I'm just going to, oh, I shouldn't have bothered because apparently they've already done it. So we've got made up of 32 cards, the four worlds of the Kabbalah. It is divided into 4 parts made up. I see. So the first 8 cards are the emanations, represent archetype concepts, abstract. Oh, right. So we've got like the feminine, the masculine, and then we've got creation, which are the gods. These ones. I see. Symbols, divinities, Aztec divinities. So the formation, those are the more well, not fleshed out. The skeletons with the bodies instead of just the heads. And those are the part of us, our minds, that consciously or unconsciously regulates all of our actions. Okay. And the last one is action, which are the farm scene, congealment of the previous 3 worlds, which is to say the material world, and the way in which human beings find their place and act within it by way of their own choices, their own actions, and their own words. Okay, so if you look at the emanations, which I am very interested in, we've got darkness, masculine, chaos, love, will, order, feminine, and light. So it starts with dark and it ends with light, and so that is very interesting, and I look forward to, you know, working more with this deck. But in the meantime, I think I've got to read the guidebook from cover to cover, because I honestly do not understand the deck. I am not very familiar with the Aztec divinities. I am not familiar with Santa Muerte even. I'm just not familiar with any of these symbols. So these are going to be a bit of a problem to read, but I will do my best because I want to use this as a complement to this deck. I will do the unboxing some other day because obviously I thought this would be like a 15-minute video, but it ended up close to 40 minutes. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and apart from, you know, honestly, I know I complained a lot about the card quality, and I mean you can still see the damage even after so much shuffling. You can still see that one card has been damaged. Even so, I would recommend this deck. It is a bit hard, so if you're a beginner or even an advanced reader, this is really hard to read. But that's it. I think the images are wonderful. I think they're beautiful. I think I've never seen anything like that. And you don't really see the Aztec mythos, I guess, represented anywhere much. So these are very, very beautiful. The colors are perfect. They're not too dark. They're not too light. They're a bit trippy on some cards. They're a bit angry on others. They are beautiful, and of course you've got this white card, which I think this is card number 8, which is light, and that's card number 1, which is darkness. So these are beautiful, and I would strongly recommend anyone who doesn't mind a bit more darkness in the decks, a bit more balance, to get this deck, and especially if you have the Santa Muerte Tarot, I would strongly advise getting this because this is so beautiful, and even the gimmicks are beautiful. I mean, the Ouija board, that was a stroke of genius. You know, we all know that you're not supposed to be using that, since it's just made up of cards. But still, it's so interesting, and of course the Ouija board started off as, you know, just a silly game, but because of so much belief in it, so much energy in it, and you know, as a tool, as long as you have the energy and the intention, the tool will work. So I guess that kind of does lend the energy of the Ouija into the deck, so it kind of, you know, a bit of mediumship. And of course it's a deck of you know, based around death, so that is to be expected. And yeah, so definitely buy this deck if you can afford it, if you like the Aztecs, or if you've got the Santa Muerte, definitely get it. It's worth it. The price is a bit on the steep side for a 32 card deck, but you know, I think if you can do a deck with just 32 cards, you don't really need that many anyway, and it's good for people to shuffle. It's okay with me, but I know, and I have seen some people complain about decks that have less than, you know, fewer than 40 cards, like the Angelarium. I'm okay with it. Honestly not bothered. So yeah, I'll definitely have a lot of fun with this deck, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's been useful. I'm sorry that this hasn't been much of a walkthrough. It's more of an unboxing and a flip through. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is Singy from the Sanctum of the Soul, and have a wonderful week ahead.